happy for my boy. That's great.
TJ Millionaire Mentor.
Yeah.
You know, hey, on Instagram, on YouTube, we're all about lifestyle, cars, and making money. That's what I talk about, bro.
Yeah.
And you live that.
And it's also a growth mindset,
Yeah.
right? You know, because like, you know, we talked about that before. Like, there's, you know, there's this concept of the fixed mindset and a growth mindset. You know, fixed mindset talks about you have certain personality traits, certain characteristics, but that's fixed. It doesn't grow. Whereas the growth mindset, you're okay for failing, you're okay for challenges because that levels you up.
Introduce yourself for my peoples.
Boom! Dr. Fabulous here, Dr. David Fabio, orthopedic surgeon in San Diego, starting the Fab movement. You know, we want to step it up and start motivating people. That's what I do. That's what's in my DNA. I know that's what's in your DNA too. Also, at the same time, we're both into this racing game. You know?
Well, look,
So,
you don't have to step it up and start motivating people. That's what you do already.
So I also have Fab Movement podcast episodes. So come check it out if you got to, and then if you want to, then my followers also follow this
If
guy.
you want to, bro, look, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but if it's about lifestyle, if it's about growing, it's about getting to the next level. You know, inspiration, nothing happens without first being inspired. People think inspiration is not important. Inspiration is important. So, you know, if you're watching stuff, you're consuming content that's not inspiring you, stop. Because you first got to be inspired before you take action. Once you're inspired, but it lasts only for a short time because it can just dissipate. So you have to take action, be inspired, and do something, and that's what you do. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about growth. I mentioned it before. What is growth? Growth to me, Tony Robbins, you know, talks about growth being happiness, and it's so true.
Yeah.
Just like when I saw you hit that 201.
Oh!
Dude, you're smiling. That's happiness, right?
Yes.
Because you start off here at a certain like time lap, and then you just crushed it. You know, so like that's awesome. I put on a daily to really work on myself. You know, through reading, through taking on challenges. Because to me, if I'm not growing, I'm not happy. You know, so. And I know you're the same mindset. You got that DNA in you.
Absolutely, man.
I love watching your stuff, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur through and through. So for me, I'm always, so people talk about, you know, artists, you know, and I always say that ballers want to be rappers and rappers want to be ballers. So as an entrepreneur, I kind of want to be an artist. You know, I want to be able to sing. I want to be able to rap. I want to be able to, I can't do any of that, right?
Yeah.
But I figured out that my art was business.
There you go.
Right, in creating businesses, because I start with a blank canvas just like everybody else. No idea, nothing. You come up with an idea and you start to do it. And in this stuff that we're so passionate about, racing, that lap that I did, so I went out there, right, and it's like I'm in the black group, and then the lady said, hey, go line up behind them, right? There's, those two right there are faster than you. I was like, what? Like it did something to me.
No, you're like mindset, like no.
It did something to me, right?
Yeah.
They're faster, so I got to get behind them. And so what I did was, I mean, it just hit in here. And I said, but are they faster than me because they're just faster and better, or is it that I'm not being my best self? What's happening?
There you go.
So I decided in that moment that this was going to be my art, right? So what I decided was, I'm going to paint better lines than them. I'm going to paint the best lines on this track that I can paint. And if I can paint the best lines that I can paint, then I'm growing. I'm getting better. I'm getting closer to my best. And if they can beat me with me painting the best lines that I can paint, then so be it. They're faster than me right now. But I don't think so. And I went out there, man, and they had to do the little point by. And then I was like, and the next thing I know, I saw them, and they kept going further and further back. And I saw them, and I beat them by like 3 seconds.
And you're like, boom.
Boom!
Boom! Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about, though. Like, I mean, that's a great analogy that you put, man. That gave me chills just hearing about that. And you touched on a few concepts there. You talk about being competitive, right? I mean, I think it's in you, it's in me, that we're competitive with others. But what's most important, I used to be so competitive with others, but, you know, the best way to think about it, you flip it. You got to be competitive with yourself. You know, wherever that lies, you know, that wherever that falls into place, it falls into place. But, you know, for me, I got the belief, man, you know, no limits. So, like, I think my best, you know, hopefully is better than anyone else. So it takes care of itself.
First, be inspired. Do shit that inspires you.
Hell yeah.
Watch shit that inspires you. Be around people that inspires you. And if that happens, take action. You know what I'm saying? If you say, Dr. Fab, how did he build his life?
Yeah.
Like, find out, figure out how that inspires you. Go do it, put it into action. Just like you said, bro, let's get together and do something right now.
Yeah.
Let's do it today.
Yeah.
Let's do it right
We
now.
got fired up.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
number one,
Yeah.
right? Number
Yeah.
two, you said compete with yourself.
Yeah.
There's some nuance there, right? Because compete with yourself, but make sure you set a high standard.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you're not around people that, you know, because you see people just in what we do right now, man, trying to get better. You're better than 95% of the people here, right? And you haven't been doing it that long.
Yeah.
There's people that's been doing it for years and years and years
Yeah.
because they set such a low standard.
They set limits.
They don't even know it.
Yeah.
They got a low standard because their buddy is fast, and you were like, wait, what is fast?
Yeah.
What does fast mean?
Yeah.
And you figured out what fast meant, and then you said, let me figure out how to get fast. And you started doing some things to get fast. So what did you do to get better to sort of achieve that and live out
So, I
that
mean,
growth mindset?
You're absolutely right. You know, it's like first inspiration, then action, right?
Yep.
Because action without inspiration doesn't last,
Yeah.
right? You know, so like every day, I got to inspire myself.
Yeah.
I start my morning by inspiring myself. But as it relates to racing, how did I do it? So one, I read a ton about it. You know, I watch video, I just critique everything.
Yeah.
So like, I'm taking action.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's not just one of those things where you just take it to the racetrack and you get it. Yeah, this is important. This is like a classroom,
Right.
but you got to study. You got to
Yeah.
do your homework outside.
Yeah.
So on top of that, you also got to get mentors.
Exactly.
Having mentors is like invaluable
Wow.
in life. You
Wow.
know.
You know, that's so
I
big.
hired the driving instructor to increase my learning curve fast.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah. To decrease it. The decrease is like, my learning curve is like, yeah, I'm going to decrease that shit. It's like somebody might have been tracking for a long time. They might have been tracking for 10 years, 20 years, whatever. But what was the quality of that time?
Exactly.
What was the quality of that time?
Yeah.
How much training did you get? How much did you study? Guys, you got to get this. A relatively permanent change in behavior as a result of experience. What does that mean, right? So let's break that down. First of all, if you're going to learn anything and say that you've learned something, it means that your behavior has changed. That's going to manifest itself in results,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Your
You're
behavior
preaching, bro.
changes,
You're
right?
preaching.
So
You're preaching.
some of the people that's been out here, they're doing the same
Yep.
thing
Yeah.
over and over.
Yeah.
So they had 10 years of the same day.
Because they're happy
Right.
with that standard, right?
They have 10, but what you did
Yeah.
is you didn't have 10 years of the same day.
No.
You compressed 10 years in 6 months or 8 months or whatever it is, because you got a coach and you got somebody that can help you reduce that learning curve,
Oh, yeah.
so it moves you along so far.
Yeah.
So many people don't do that, bro. Why? Why?
I mean, because one, like, I think ego's involved, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be some level of ego. Be like, I can learn this on myself.
Yeah.
You know, but like, dude, we all need help. You know, it's like, and you touched upon it. What I can learn on my own in 10 years with a mentor can bring that down to like months.
Why
bro,
wouldn't you do that?
know? Yeah, why? And time is so important. Time, we don't get it back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like biggest commodity, right?
Right.
We don't get it back. You know, we can get money back, we can get material things back,
Right.
but not time.
Right.
And time's important to you.
Right.
You're busy, I'm busy.
Absolutely.
So like, we gotta maximize that. And part of that, getting coached, doing your homework, that's maximizing time. You know, so why are they get comfortable?
Yeah.
I'm sure some of them get comfortable.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'm fast. I'm happy with it. Comfortable's overrated, right?
Yeah.
And then they
Absolutely.
probably get some people getting noise in their face, like, oh, you're fast, you're fast, you're fast. And they buy into that, you know?
False
so,
cheerleaders, man. Those are false cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Bro, you know, there's people out there and they like listen to the false cheerleaders because they're a step ahead of somebody else. And that's who their cheering squad is. And that's great for you to have cheerleaders. But make sure you know what good is. Set your own damn standard.
Yeah.
You hear these engines out here, baby?
Set
We're
that
out here.
standard.
We're out here. The engines are out here. They're running. They're going fast. Not as fast as you, though.
Nah, bro.
You
All
so
right, bro.
fast, man. So
Love you, man.
wait,
Yeah.
let's make sure we go back through this to make sure they get this, right?
For sure.
So we said, first of all, be inspired, take action,
Yeah.
right? The other thing we said is set a high standard, right? So look at other people to figure out what that standard is going to be.
Yeah.
Make sure you know what good is. Don't take good from somebody that's, don't try to be the tallest midget in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who wants to be the tallest midget,
that,
right?
right?
You know what I'm saying? No, don't do that, bro. Don't be like, oh, I'm killing it out here. No, you don't want to kill it with midgets. You want to kill it with giants.
Yeah.
So go figure out a giant, right? Set the standard. Then you said, get mentors. Reduce your learning curve, right? To compress that learning.
For me, I choose quote unquote role models
Yeah.
that I want to model myself afterwards. I can sit here and be like, I want to be like that guy, but no, dude, I want to be like Lewis Hamilton.
Oh shit!
That's like excellence right
He
there.
said he
you
wants
know?
to
So
kill.
inside. Yeah.
Yo, look, he said he wants to kill mofos. He want to be like Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yo, hey, look.
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, be the best.
Yeah.
Be the best.
Excellence. Yeah.
And so you study his journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you like about Lewis Hamilton? Give me a drop.
His grit, man.
Yeah.
You know, he came from meager poor circumstances.
Yeah.
I love his story, you know, because like most people in Formula One, they come from like a rich background.
Yeah.
They got a lot of support.
Yeah.
But I love, like, his dad worked like 3 jobs
Yeah.
to fund his karting career.
Shit.
So he uses that. He stays hungry, man. That's what I like, you know. And he's like, bro, you know, he's got that belief. He's always
Yeah.
growing, always improving, and he's just complete, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's humble too.
Yeah.
He's humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's living his life on his own terms.
Yep.
I love that. He lives his life, man. You can tell
That's
this
the
dude is
goal.
having so much fun in his life. We gotta go, because you gotta go get back on the track.
Yeah.
Right? But let me say this. Live life on your own terms. But in order to do that, you gotta earn it. Right? You put in the time so you can spend the time doing this.
Yeah.
Right? Because you've done all the things that we've talked about in your regular life and your regular career. You hear things like, don't do things that you know, if it doesn't make you happy, don't do it. You know, live life on your own terms. All that sort of stuff. That's true, but put it in context. You have to earn that stuff. Sometimes you're gonna do stuff. I'm sure going to medical school wasn't always fun.
Oh, it's hard work. All this stuff is like, it doesn't come easy. You know, it's hard work,
Right. But look at where you at.
but this hard work is
You
so worth
started
it.
from the bottom, now we're here.
Just trying to be like you, man.
Bro,
Yeah. So,
sorry, man. Thank you, bro.
dude, I'm so glad I met you the other month. We're just vibing.
Yeah.
Natural. So,
Awesome,
all right, bro.
man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. So,
Man. Love
out.
it.
Yeah.